Good evening. The November 14th, 2017 meeting of the Marion County School Board is called to order. For the courtesy of those listening to the meeting, I am requesting everyone in the audience please turn off your electronic devices or put them on vibrate. Later in the meeting, up to 30 minutes will be provided for individuals to address the board on matters concerning the operation of the Marion County school system or school board only. Presentations to the board are limited to 5 minutes and are televised. If you wish to address the board regarding a regular agenda item or matters on which board customarily takes action, you must first complete a peach form located on the table in the hallway. If you wish to address the board regarding a public hearing or a student discipline matter, please complete the lime green form. These forms must be fully completed and received by the board secretary no later than 5:40 p.m. The procedures applicable for each are on a separate sheet. Madam Secretary, please call roll.
Mrs. Nancy Stacy, District 1.
Here.
Mr. Bobby James, District 3.
Here.
Ms. Angie Boynton, District 4.
Here.
Mrs. Beth McCall, District 2.
Here.
Mrs. Kelly King, District 5.
Here.
Dr. Heidi Mayer, Superintendent.
Here.
Mr. Paul Gibbs, School Board Attorney.
Here.
Thank you. Ms. Suzanne McGuire, Director of Family, School, and Community Engagement, please introduce the individuals who will be providing the inspiration and leading us in the pledge this evening.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Mayer, guests in the audience. Tonight we have a very special guest. We have the colors being presented by Vanguard's Junior ROTC, and leading us in the pledge and inspiration is Coast Guard World War II veteran E.J. Baldwin. Please stand.
Left, right. Color right. Hold. Left. Face. Breathe. Side. Colors.
Will you join me in the pledge for allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America,
of America
to the republic
to the republic for
which it
Stands
one nation
under God, indivisible,
with
with liberty and
Justice.
justice for all.
Harry. Colors. Ready. Cut. Right. Face. Forward. March.
This is the grandest country on the face of the earth.
If you could be seated, please.
The greatest country on the face of the earth. And we hope to preserve it. Everybody in the world wants to knock us down, but we want to keep it going. And I have spent 97 years. I've seen it good, bad, and indifferent. And I hope to God it gets better. Thank you.
Dr. Mayer?
With the exception of item 7.4, which has been withdrawn entirely, I recommend approval of the agenda for the November 14, 2017 school board meeting with those materials in the board packet, those materials distributed to board members at the meeting, and the audio recorded included as part of the official record of the meeting.
Okay. May I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation?
Second.
Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Ms. Boynton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those that oppose, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the September 26, 2017 school meeting?
So, second.
Moved by Ms. Boynton, second by Mr. James. Are there any additions or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the October 5th, 2017 administrative briefing and work session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. McCall and seconded by Mr. James. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Someone said yes. I didn't hear it yet. Okay. And the motion passed 5-0. Ms. Judy Zanetti, Public Education Foundation Officer, would like to recognize 2 business partnerships. Is she in the back? Hi.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Mayor and board members. It is my pleasure to represent the Public Education Foundation of Marion County and introduce you to 2 new business partners. We'll start at Fort King Middle School, and we have Principal Gary Smallridge with us. Where's Mr. Smallridge? Here he is. And they are partnering with Pediatric Associates of Ocala. And from Pediatric Associates of Ocala, we have the office manager, Cheryl Cox, and Dr. Stephanie Shealy Harrell. And something special about Dr. Harrell is she is actually an alumni of Fort King Middle School. So that's the second business partner in a row that actually is partnering with their old middle school. So that makes it just that more special. But we are excited. It's been a long time since Fort King Middle School has had a business partner. And we could not be more excited that Dr. Harrell and Pediatric and Associates is stepping up. So I've got some certificates for you all. We've got one for the school, Mr. Smallridge, and one for your office. And I'll ask Mr. Smallridge if he'd like to say a few words.
I would like to say a few words. It's nice to have alumni come back and want to work with a school. We have not had a business partner, and having a business partner helps us do things like keep up with technology, pay for some of those things like installations when you can't use title funds. So it's very much appreciated. There's actually work taking place on the campus today to do some installs on some engaged classrooms, and part of that money is coming from our business partnership from Dr. Harrell, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I wanted to say, too, that our nurse practitioner that's at our office, Erin Clymer, she also graduated from Fort King Middle School. So, and then we're excited for all of our patients that go there, too, to help out.
Thank you both. Would the 3 of you get together here so Mr. Christian can take a picture of you? Just step forward just a little bit, maybe for him. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Oh, and Dr. Harrell. I think it's a picture of her cheerleading.
That's
at
right,
Fort
a little
King.
advertisement.
But that is a banner for their school. But she did used to be a cheerleader there at Fort King. We've got that photos that her mom sent us. And next, we're excited for our new business partnership at South Ocala Elementary School. So we've got Principal Stephanie Calloway with us, and their new business partner is Neighborhood Storage. So tonight we have with us Miranda Sullivan and Todd Verdiani, and we are very excited for this new partnership as well. So let me get those certificates out. And Mrs. Calloway?
Thank you. I am so excited. Our business partners throughout Marion County and all of our schools, where we're fortunate enough to have them, they validate the work that we do. because we know in preparing students for the workforce and college and beyond the classroom, when you have a business partner that says, I want to work with your school, hopefully our future students will continue to partner with our local businesses. And so that's the far-reaching goal, certainly for an elementary school, but I'm very excited and very proud. And Mr. Rudiani is an alumni of South Ocala, and so am I. So it's nice to see that longevity in the community. Thank you, Mr. Rudiani. Would you like to say something too?
We just wanted to thank you all for the opportunity, and we look forward to partnering with South Ocala. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys all? Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Guys are afraid of the camera.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Suzanne McGuire, please come forward, along with Miss Lindsay Barber, Curriculum Instruction Program Specialist, to recognize the American Founders Essay Contest winners. You can look them upstairs.
Sorry about that. It's a very crowded hallway. Good evening again, board members, Dr. Mayor. We're here tonight. I'm here with Lindsay Barber, Program Specialist in Secondary Curriculum, and we're going to recognize the students for American Founders Month. Some of them did art contests, and some of them wrote essays. Different members of Marion County Vets Council and other veterans organizations were actually the judges of this, and they're here this evening to present, but I'm going to let Lindsay share what the actual activities were and the criteria.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendent, board members. As I was here in September and we went over our new initiatives for American Founders Month, we reiterated that we wanted to celebrate the unique American heritage that was afforded to us by the founding figures and the founding documents. And so for the first time, Curriculum and Instruction organized a district-wide art and writing contest. And details about those tests were sent to all elementary and secondary schools and teachers. And for the art contest, 10 schools participated. There were over 127 entries that were submitted in the art contest that were judged. There was no screening process, so anything that was sent was judged by the Committee of Local Veterans, and they judged based on a rubric, and the theme was protecting the promises of the Founding Fathers. Grades K-2 were able to enter a class art project, so they're going to receive awards tonight for their class project, and then all other grades were individual projects. So at this time, we would like to recognize the art contest winners, and the first group is going to be recognized by, we're doing 6 through 8. Yes, so 6 through 8 recognition presented by the U.S. Air Force Recruiting Station here in Ocala. And so first, coming in 4th place, Adela Curley from Osceola Middle School. Hayden Prestapino in 3rd place from Osceola Middle School. Savannah Hearn, who's not with us tonight, and Emily Gordon in 1st place from Horizon Academy.
In addition to their certificates and recognition from the U.S. Air Force, Mr. Jeffrey Askew, the Marion County Veteran Service Officer, is here as well, and every student will be receiving a flag and a lapel pin.
Next was grades 3. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Oh, my.
You guys, good job.
we're going to have grades 3 through 5, and that is in third place, Bailey Beach from Madison Street Academy. Alondra Fuentes from Madison Street Academy. And Mason Piron from East Marion Elementary School.
And these students are being recognized by the Nautilus Submarine Association of Marion County.
Okay, next we have our K2 class award winners, and in third place was Ms. Henrich's class from South Ocala Elementary, and she's here. First student, forward. And then Ms. Hill's class from South Ocala Elementary, and Ms. Paulson's class from South Ocala Elementary. And Ms. Paulson isn't here with us tonight, but we will make sure her class gets their awards.
And these three classes are actually being recognized with pizza parties being sponsored by American Legion Post 284 from Bellevue, the Marion County Veterans Council, and the 40 and 8 from Bellevue.
That was all art. And that's all of our art winners for this evening, so if we could give them a big round of applause. And thank you to their school and their teachers for encouraging them to participate. All right, this way. So for the writing contest, we had 9 schools participate. That was approximately 300 essays that were submitted, and all of those essays went to the Committee of Local Veterans, and they judged those based on the prompt: why do people consider the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights the documents of freedom? How do these documents work together to define and protect our rights? And what can you do to help preserve the freedoms in our country? And submissions had to be between 500 and 800 words in length. and the committee evaluated them based on a rubric that emphasized focus and detail, explanation, style, grammar. And again, I would like to thank the Marion County Veterans Council and Veterans Family Services for the hours that they spent evaluating approximately 300 essays. And so at this time, we're going to recognize the writing contest winners, starting in grade 8 with Sophia Aumada from Howard Middle School. Second place was Peyton Dorman, who could not be with us this evening. And then first place, Tyler Sharp from Howard Middle School.
And presenting the recognition is Sergeant Thomas, U.S. Army Recruiting Station, Ocala.
In grade 7, in third place was Peyton Warnken from Osceola Middle School. There you go. Natalia Meechin from Osceola Middle School. And Charlie McInnes from Osceola Middle School, who is not here with us this evening.
And U.S. Army Recruiting Station Ocala is also recognizing these students, along with Mr. Askew from Veteran Service.
Grade 6, in third place is Flynn Dempsey from Howard Middle School. Bailey Mullins from Howard Middle School. And Jonas Adesu from Howard Middle School.
And U.S. Army Recruiting Station Ocala is also sponsoring these students.
In grades 3 through 5, we have in third place Haley Gwynn from Oakcrest Elementary School. Shailene Strickler from Saddlewood Elementary School. And Sophia Witt from Dunellen Elementary School.
And special recognition for these students is from the Nautilus Submarine Association and also from Mr. Jeffrey Askew, Marion Veteran Service Office.
Thank you.
You guys scooch together, please. And now we'll get a group shot on this. Hold your certificate up for me, please. They're all right side up. Yes, great. Count of three. 1, 2, 3. Great job.
So overall, we're just extremely pleased with the learning opportunities that took place. And again, we want to thank the schools and teachers for encouraging the students to participate. And we just have greater expectations for next year when we're going to, as we continue to grow the initiative. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we are going to move ahead with Dr. Grantham. He would like to make a special recognition.
Good evening, everyone. I am speaking to this board on behalf of Mr. Jody Phillips. He cannot be with us tonight. I asked if Mr. Yancey wanted to speak, and he said, "Do you know his last name?" And I said, and he said he definitely wants to speak. So this is Mr. Philip Yancey. He's going to come speak to you about what they're doing with golf in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Jody Phillips. He does a great job as a county AD and that type of thing. My mother and father started doing this with the district golf tournaments and the county golf tournament for the public schools years ago, and we're fortunate enough to be able to continue that tradition. We're in our 67th annual Henry N. Camp Golf Tournament, which is one of the best tournaments, amateur tournaments in the Florida and the Southeast. We had 192 participants who I would like to thank because they allow us to do this. 100 participants in our AMAM, and I would like to thank all of our sponsors and volunteers for their help that allow us to do this. My mother and father were big fans of all high school athletics, but especially the golf. My wife Vicki and I were fortunate enough to go to the County Golf Championship as well as the 2 district tournaments here in Ocala, and the kids are very well behaved and did a great job playing golf, and it's our pleasure to do this. I was going to thank people since y'all made me come to this. I spent 35 years trying to stay out of these meetings, but I appreciate it and appreciate everything y'all do. Thank you.
Okay. Renee, close by, I hope. Miss Renee Sanchez, Program Specialist in Federal Programs, would like to recognize representatives from the Ocala-Marion County Association of Realtors for grant awards.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Madam Chair, school board members, and Dr. Mayor. It's my privilege to introduce Randy Alford. He is the chairperson for the committee that gave the grant awards to our teachers this year. So it's the Ocala-Marion County Realtors Association. And they're going to present the 2017 awardees.
I think everybody want to pile? Can we all pile in there? She announced me as the chair. I'm actually the co-chair. I'm trying to give this away. Y'all have seen my face for the last 5 or 6 years, so I know you're getting sick of me, but I'm back again giving away money, so I know the door's always open, right?
Right, so we're not sick of seeing you.
So. Once we get everybody in here. Again, like she said, we're the Ocala-Marion County Association of Realtors, and I'm the co-chair. This is my other co-chair, Ellie Trahan. We have with us tonight our association president, Valerie Daly. Valerie Daly. One of our board members, Linda Adamson, And our association executive is always hides in the back for some reason, but she's here, Darlene. So again, like I said, this is our 11th or 12th year doing this, giving out another $6,000. I got some great news. We got it approved in our budget that we're actually giving away, Darlene, correct me, how much more next year? So $9,000 total next year. $9,000 next year, so we bumped it up a little bit. So, yes. Oh, and we just, I guess we'll be back pretty soon because we just did a business partner arrangement with Hillcrest, so we're excited about that too. But like I said, I'd like to call off the names. I know several of them are here this evening. So first one, Fort King Middle School. Principal is Mr. Smallridge, and I know Mr. Wood and Miss Gilmore is here tonight. The first one is Tracy Chin. She was awarded $575.56. And if y'all will come up front. Oh, Mr. Smallridge is here. He's snuck in on us.
Up front? Yes, we'll do a picture up there.
Second one. Now see, I'm gonna go ahead and call this out. Now, Mr. Smallridge, my daughter goes to Fort King Middle School, and I cornered him at the orientation, I think it was. And I said, listen, we're getting ready to send out these grant requests. Make sure they get to everybody. And apparently he did a phenomenal job of that because there's 3 Fort King Middles on here. So second one, also Fort King Middle School, teacher Sherry Terrell. She was awarded $912.55. Third one, also Fort King Middle School, Tricia Panarello. Next one, Horizon Academy at Marion Oaks, Principal Donald Mayer. Teacher named Jennifer Mullen, awarded $252.64. Bellevue Middle School, Dion Gary. Teacher Michelle Nelson, awarded $335. Howard Middle School, Mr. Hensel is the principal. Jonathan Atkins, teacher, awarded $300. Also Howard Middle School, teacher Mr. George Perry, $300. Next one, we have Forest High School, Mr. Carson, principal Tara Klein, $261.30. And Vicki Trulieb, hopefully I said that correctly. Wasn't able to make it tonight, but $250. Next, just a couple more. Lake Weir High School, Jennifer Beasley, principal. Grace Courier, and $750. And Mr. Wisman is here from Westport High School. Principal is Ginger Cruz. I was picking up Mr. Wisman in the lobby out there. I'm like, you're going to have to get up here and tell a story of why you applied for this. So get ready. Here he comes. Lake Weir High School, last one. Principal Jennifer Beasley and Martha Mittner, teacher, awarded $403. So. You have to hold the check like you do every year. I'm good. No, my daughter's mine.
You can Photoshop it.
And again, we're excited to have been able to do this for so long, and we look forward to doing it many more years in the future. And Mr. Wisman, I know you want to just tell briefly what you. We always like to put somebody on the spot. Go ahead.
I know we don't get a lot of funds for reading materials, and I really enjoyed this magazine. I've been teaching for 24 years, and the Science Worlds that I order are pretty expensive, but we can't order them with regular science funds. So I just decided that, hey, this would be something that I could really use. The kids love it. It's current event articles, and they're really useful. The kids really love it, geared towards teenagers. So it's really something that just helps me out a lot and the kids.
I just want to recognize Randy and his daughter. Okay, one of the things I just want to say, Randy, we really appreciate the amount of time and effort that you and your group put in getting us this money. But I just want to make a special note to your daughter, because I've seen her grow up in front of this board. I know I will see her another year or two, hopefully I'll see her when she's in high school, because I've seen her grow from here to where she is now. So
You guys watched her for a long time. And I didn't even force her to come here tonight. I want you to know that. She wanted to come, so.
well, I wish we had the pictures of all the years that she's come in here, because it's amazing how she's grown. And thanks again for all our kids and all the people from the Marion County School System. Thank you.
Appreciate it a lot. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. James Jackson, Community Liaison with Social Work Services, would like to recognize the winners of the Red Williams School Spirit Award.
Good evening. Thank you very much, board members and superintendent, fellow employees, and special guests. Thank you very much for having us here tonight. Tonight I'm here to recognize the 2017 School Spirit Contest winners for the Red Ribbon Week. As many as you know, Red Ribbon is celebrated nationally throughout our country towards the end of the month of October. Schools, along with community members, get together and they focus on fun activities throughout the week to take a public stance against substance abuse and misuse. In the Marion County Public School System, schools typically compete against each other at different levels, elementary, middle, and high school, in order to try and win a chance for $500 and a traveling trophy and bragging rights always. That's the one thing that gets the competition going more than anything else. Every year it amazes me to see what the schools do and our community does together. It's awesome to go see all the different schools that are adorned with red ribbons, to see the activities that the schools participate in and the students participate in. And they try to tie it to learning gains, and they try to tie it to where it's not just a fun activity, but a fun activity where they're actually incorporating it into their everyday school activities. This year was no exception. Some honorable mentions of this school for the School Spirit Contest include Ward Highlands Elementary, Hammett Bowen Elementary, Oakcrest Elementary, Osceola Middle School, Horizon Academy, Dunellen Middle, and North Marion High. All of these schools should be very proud of themselves. The judges that went out to the schools to see which one was the winner all came back, and it was a very close ties between all different types of levels. It was very difficult for them to come up with winners. We do have 3 winners, obviously, for the elementary, middle, and high. But before we get to that, I'd like to I want to say thank you to the Community Council Against Substance Abuse and the Marion County Children's Alliance for sponsoring this event. They have done so for so many years, and without them, this would not be able to happen. They also help and organize the annual Red Ribbon Kickoff, which is almost always held at the Ocala Police Department, and I'd like to say thank you to them and many of the community agencies and members at large that help support that to make that event occur. This year was no exception as far as the annual kickoff. We had a lot of fun, had a lot of people there. I believe it was about almost 700 people there at the kickoff again. Without further ado, I'd like to invite up Nancy Castillo from the CASA, Community Against Substance Abuse, and allow her to announce the winners for the annual School Spirit Contest.
So the elementary winner is East Marion Elementary. Is there a representative to accept?
Parker, thank you very much for coming. These are so fresh and printed. They're hot off the press.
But here's your actual. Thanks.
Yeah, Mr. Hearn out there, right? Have her principal out there.
And for the middle school, we have Fort McCoy.
There you go.
Mr. Hearn and his crew are here.
Hard workers. You know me, I'm not artsy crafty, so all this credit goes to these 3 ladies right here.
And our last winner is Francis Marion Military Academy.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, one more. Great, thank you.
Thank you, Board, and Marion County Children's Alliance is committed to another year.
Thank you.
Thank you again very much for your time, and we appreciate it. And y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for allowing us to come up here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move along. May I have a motion to adopt a proclamation recognizing the third Wednesday of November, November 15th, 2017, as Education Support Professionals Day?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. McCall and seconded by Mr. James. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those that oppose, like sign.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
gotta get the, hold on. Okay, and the motion passed 5-0. Okay, Ms. Pittman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board.
Excuse me, 4-0.
I'm excited. So
Me too. We're like getting this meeting rolling. Let's have it. Okay, Ms. Pittman, you can go now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Jamie Pittman, and I'm the Supervisor of Employment Services with Marion County Public Schools. Today, it's my great pleasure to get to acknowledge and recognize some very special individuals in our school system. They're the backbone of our school system. They help with everything from the health clinic to attendance, to desktop support, to finance, and helping with the instructional in the classroom. They do data entry, desktop support. This group is the backbone of our system, and they are our support. It's with great pleasure that I get to present this proclamation in recognition of Education Support Professionals Day. I ask Mr. Dante Prophet to come on. Would you like to have your associates come also?
Yes, please. If you are
We have some members of the MESP who are going to receive this proclamation this evening. We have here Annie Boyd. Who's Annie? Who's Annie? We have Lavinia Correa. We have Don Clement. You were here last year, weren't you? I was here. Yes, you were. Erica Tuggerson, Lolita Merriweather, and Melissa Merriweather. So I'm going to present this to you. Here's the proclamation, sir. Whereas the third Wednesday in November will mark the annual observance of Education Support Professionals Day, and whereas our educational support professionals work tirelessly to serve our children and communities with care and professionalism, and whereas the success of Marion County students relies upon the support staff to be positive role models, and whereas support staff have a major role in assisting our educators who shape the minds which will create the future, and whereas all support staff in Marion County have an important role to play in ensuring that all of today's students are prepared to meet the challenges established by high educational standards. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the School Board of Marion County, Florida, recognizes the third Wednesday of November to be Education Support Professionals Day, November 15th, 2017, dated this 14th day of November, 2017. Would you like to say something?
Sure. Thank you so much. I'm Donnie Prophet, and it is absolutely my honor that I get to represent the educational support professionals of Marion County. We know that educational support professionals go the extra mile each and every day to make sure that each child is educated. You can have one-on-one paras, or you can have that receptionist that get to greet the child first thing in the morning, or you have the help clinic assistant that put a little Band-Aid on that child boo-boo to make sure that that child feel better. And a lot of times they live within their community. You have computer techs who make sure that that technology is working, and behavior techs who deal with our most challenging kids each and every day. When I get to talk to our education support professionals, when I get to tour schools, I think this is proof that you could change the world, because each and every day I get to see this at my school when I see education support professionals working on a daily basis. So as your president, I just want to make sure that you are honored for the hard work that you do each and every day. So thank you.
I would like to take a minute to recognize a Boy Scout who is visiting us tonight. His name is Kyle Morgan from Troop 72. His troop location is First Presbyterian Church, and today he is observing for communications and citizenship in the community. So we welcome you and thank you for joining us this evening. Okay, I will now ask the school board's attorney to explain the rules governing persons who wish to address the school board tonight.
Thank you. Good evening. In compliance with Section 286.0114 of Florida statutes, the school board has adopted uniform procedures for public speakers who wish to speak at tonight's meeting, either regarding one of tonight's agenda items or a matter relating to the operations of the school district. These procedures will ensure the public has a reasonable opportunity to be heard on school board and school district matters. A written summary of these procedures is available from the table in the hallway. Public speaker forms are also located on the same table. The completed forms were due no later than were due to the school board's assistant no later than 5:40 p.m. Tonight's speakers will be called prior to the business portion of the school board's meeting in the order of receipt by the school board's assistant. Before you begin speaking, please state your full name and address for the record and spell your last name. Each speaker will have 5 minutes of time. However, if there are more than 5 persons who wish to speak, the board may seek consensus to limit each speaker's time to 3 minutes. When the speaker has 1 minute remaining, the speaker will receive a visual notice to complete his or her comments. Speakers may not yield their time to other people. Speakers and meeting attendees are expected to conduct themselves in a respectful manner. Therefore, verbal attacks and profanity are strictly prohibited. If there are matters dealing with student discipline, including expulsions, they will be scheduled at the conclusion of the televised portion of this meeting. Parents may address the board regarding a discipline matter at that time. To ensure student privacy, only a parent or guardian may use a student's first or last name. Identifying references to or identification of other students and or their families are also strictly prohibited. Thank you for your attention to the board's requirements.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbs. Ms. Blockheader?
Mr. James Sampson.
James Sampson, 2341 Southeast 186th Terrace in Silver Springs, Florida. I had the opportunity to grade the essays that some of these children wrote. I'm very disappointed how stupid I am and how intelligent these kids are. It was amazing to read them. There's a couple other things that, and the main thing I want to share with you tonight is I built the DEA headquarters in Miami, and I had a black kid working for me, Shane Wiley. He called me on my birthday at like 9 in the morning. And I have brothers and sisters, they call me too, but he called me first. Mark Herndon, who played football, number 37, called me second, another black kid, and a really good kid. But Shane's the one that I was surprised. I worked with him for a whole year, and he was separated from his wife, and he had 2 beautiful little children. And the reason why he called me after 10 years have gone by is he said, Sampson, you were right. When I see St. Peter, I'm going to be able to say that I went home and I gave her the chocolates like you gave me the money to buy her. And they're beautiful, and if I wasn't there to protect them, who knows what would happen to them in Miami. The DEA sent me down some big shots with cufflinks that cost more than my car. They come walking in with the Gucci shoes and all that. It must have been 10 of them from Washington. My boss is there in my construction trailer. I'm the superintendent. The architect, the engineer, everybody's there. And I'm looking out the window, and there's some fencing that costs like $8,000 a pop. It's intrusion detection fencing that talks to satellites and detects motions and everything. And I told Shane, he's one of the guys I get every day from temporary labor. I said, don't ever move that stuff. It's very expensive. But I had walked the job, and I heard this bzzz. What the heck? I thought an electrical problem. Went back, Googled it. It's an African killer bee nest. Well, I didn't think much of it because I told everyone to stay away from it. And all these big shots come in my office, and I'm looking out the window, and there's Shane going over there with a backhoe, like a lull, to move that fence to let the concrete guy go in there. And I said, oh, hockey puck. Well, it rhymed with hockey puck. My boss went over and goes, Sampson, what's the matter? I said, I told that black kid not to go near that fencing. There's an African killer bee nest there. I Googled it. Sure enough, the bees come up. Shane Wiley comes running, my buddy, my lifelong friend, like Carl Lewis. Mr. Sampson, the bees. I said, get back on that backhoe. Those are African killer bees. They ain't going to sting a brother. And he goes, for real? I go, get in here, you idiot. We've been friends ever since. Now, what I want to share with you, though, is something that no one knows. First of all, African killer bees will sting a brother. Secondly, the 1st Rhode Island Regiment is slipping everyone's mind. If you don't go on the computer and find out who they are, you'll never know that an all-black regiment led by a drunk General Sullivan stopped an invasion of British soldiers with 800 Hessians in Rhode Island that were going to sneak in the bottom of Boston in the Revolutionary War. Not the 54th Massachusetts Regiment with Denzel Washington and them. I'm talking about they started this country, a black regiment. And they went and they fought in Trenton, and they fought in Princeton. And it's not being taught anywhere. I talked to Principal Livingston in Lake Ware. He goes, Sampson, how do you know this stuff? I said, because I can read, Dr. Meyer. Because I read, like you try to tell these kids, read. I'm not telling you what to put in the curriculum, but I am going to tell you this. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of talk about a lot of things. That regiment fought in Trenton, they fought in Princeton, and I'm so disappointed because as the years go by, if you don't hit things up on the computer, they dissipate. Well, I know the whole story. I'd like to write a script for it. They stopped those British regulars and 800 Hessians and cut them to pieces. They had casualties of about 50%. The 1st Rhode Island Regiment, I got redneck kids out in the forest. They all voted for, most of them when I was campaigning for Mr. McFadden, who they came up to me later and said, he's not Irish, he's black, Sampson. I go, he's black Irish. Shut up. Vote. But the forest is a funny place. And when they want to get a tattoo of a Confederate flag, you know what I tell them? I'll buy it if you put 1st Rhode Island Regiment underneath it. And then I explain the story to them. And like when Mark Herndon told me, Sampson, how do you explain these things? I say, I don't know. How come you have faith? I said, I don't know. I don't know about Jesus walking on the water. I don't know about this. I don't know. But I do know the Holy Spirit exists, Mark, and I got a bunch of these kids out in my backyard. You know who they are, my fighters. And I said, well, if you told anybody in Boston I wrote a poem, they'd go, that's not the guy I know that tears up bars and collects money. So I wrote a poem. It's called Transition. I sit here contemplating, can earthly words describe the exhilarating feeling of Jesus at your side? For years it seems I've traveled around this awesome world alone, but now to Jesus Christ I'm bound, for once I'm heading home. Home to share this feeling of love and confidence that overcame the trauma of walls and chain and fence. Yes, I'm here in prison, or so it seems to be, a lonely place of solitude until the Lord found me. That's all I could tell these kids. I'm asking you guys to tell people about the 1st Rhode Island Regiment. You can forget about all this other stuff. They were an honorable regiment. They served our country, and they were part of the birth of this country and the freedom. Thank you.
That's very true, that story. Jerry Gerthy.
Hi, how are you? Jerry Gerthy, 3560 Southeast 137th Lane, Summerfield, Florida, 34491. I'm coming before you today because my last meeting I came to tell you that I had the money to cover the competitions, and I had another board meeting to go to, so I did not know that you had more to follow afterwards. I thought, like, you know, us, you say we're going to talk about it later, that you're talking in-house later. I wrote a letter. I brought a packet to update or back up everything that I'm saying. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough to make copies for everybody, but I'm going to ask that each one of you look at them. And that starts off, Dear Marion County School Board. During our last meeting, when I came before you, I offered you the opportunity to look at our checking account and all of our receipts to show that we had the funding for the contest we offered the students. I had another board meeting to get to, so did not know that I was being dismissed and thought you were discussing later the issues of the kids competing. Little did I know that 2 of our former board members had possible political ambitions of sabotaging the fair to the point they put children in the middle, and that their statements to your board were highly misleading. Our link to the superintendent was through our former treasurer. Anything that needed transparency should have been made available through her. My last contact with the superintendent was through email in February when we were working with Hostin at the fair at the Florida Horse Park. You are correct that I asked to bring the full details of our cardboard wars and how that would work with the students. However, we lost our location, and by the time we found a new location, it was too late to begin work on that project, with the schools and the National Day of Play working into our first county fair. Our former treasurer was the link to the superintendent, and we had no clue that there had been any requests or anything that was not sent to me directly through email. I'm requesting through the Freedom of Information Act that all requests that have been made through FKHK, through anyone that has been a former board member to this school board, be given to us for further action. I also emailed requests and further clarification and never received any answer. Copies of all my emails are in this packet. John Townsend made it appear that everyone resigned just because of the fair, and only he and our treasurer resigned due to their affair. He never put in a formal resignation, he just walked off. That was May 17th. When we told him we were still doing carnivals and going forward with hosting the first Marion County Fair. I'm provided with this in writing from our online board meetings. John Davis resigned in July and left us a letter stating that he was now too busy to give his full attention to our board. Our treasurer resigned when she saw her name in the program book about the fair. This did not only make sense that she's been with our group since it was brought to our attention that as a post was put into Marion County Political Forum on Facebook and was found when one of our supporters found this during a search about the fair. The exhibit is attached. The former board member stated that he was going before the Marion County Board of Commissioners. I had one parent, one veteran that showed up and spoke, and 4 teens that wrote letters on how our organization has helped them. 2 more of my teens wrote letters, but one of them was so angry I did not put it in here. I didn't print it out, but it was to the fact that our organization is family to them. And you can't ask any of our 21 kids, which I have, but because I didn't put last names, I just put the first names, but I included pictures of every kid that is in our organization with the 3 new well, I don't have the pictures of the 3 new ones. But they're all in this packet. So I'm going to ask you to take a moment and meet our kids, the hard work that they do. The city of Bellevue recognized the fact that these kids worked hard too. Our carnivals, I've been doing them since 2012, and I've had 2 a year. This is the first time we stepped up to the Marion County Fair. We knew in 2015 that we were going to have our first county fair. I didn't know our dates until February of 2016, which they were going to be October and November, and I didn't get a choice of our dates. Trust me, I wanted a different date altogether. I'm here because I want to work next year. These kids worked hard for our competitions. I went through every avenue. Heidi, I've been trying to get an appointment with you since February. I couldn't get one. You've been busy. So I went through Lorena, and I was told that the district wasn't participating at your level. We had to take every competition directly to the teachers. We did that. Every school, every competition. There was no entry for them. There was no fees. It was any competition like any other place did. 2 of our kids that went into Marion County Idol actually made it to America's Got Talent. Some of these kids that would have had an opportunity to play might have had that opportunity to go there too. We'll never know. So, with this being said, I'm going to ask that each of you please look at this packet. I wished I could have made more. And Heidi, I know that you have a lot on your plate, but I really want to work with the school for next year because I work with kids too. And I work with the kids that are indigent, underprivileged, a couple even homeless, and every one of them made an effort to come and work at this fair. And we succeeded. We had a goal of $22,000. We passed it. We wrote a check, and that brings me to my next thing. I couldn't make it to every school. I would like to get the checks to the band. So how do I do that? Can you help me? Okay.
Thank you. Do we have any other speakers? That's it. All right. May I have a motion to adopt the updated District Safety and Loss Prevention Manual?
So move.
Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Ms. Boynton. Dr. Mayer.
The primary goal of the Safety and Loss Prevention Program Manual is to assist in providing a safe and healthy environment for students, employees, and all who visit district facilities, and to prevent students and employee accidents causing injuries and illnesses. Monetary savings are realized by reducing costly accidental injuries due to effective safety programs.
Thank you. I declare a public hearing. Is there anyone present who wishes to address the District Safety and Loss Prevention Program Manual? Seeing none. Go ahead and vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And those that oppose, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda items C11.1-C25.1 as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. James, seconded by Ms. McCall. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And the motion passed 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the following cash or tangible donations that have a total value of $200,031.19. $2,500 to East Marion Elementary School for their business partner, American Dream Residential LLC, via the Public Education Foundation. Gift card valued at $2,584.41 to Hillcrest Public School from Rack Room Shoes. $1,000 to Lake Weir High School from Mid-Florida Golden Retriever Club. $7,041.64 to Madison Street Academy from the Madison Street Academy PTA. $1,000 to Madison Street Academy from the Public Education Foundation. $4,574.23 to Maplewood Elementary School from Maplewood PTO. 1966 Chevrolet Corvair valued at $6,800 to North Marion High School from Robert C. Ham. $5,000 to Vanguard High School from the City of Ocala. 47 grants for great ideas awarded from the Public Education Foundation totaling $169,530.91. We have a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Ms. Boynton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those that oppose, like sign. We need a vote. We got, okay. And the motion passed 5-0. And Mr. James, would you like to thank our donors?
You know, I've always said this, that we have so many people that really give to our school district. And as a board, I'd just like to say thank you, and on behalf of the students, to give you a double thank you. Anytime you can get $200,000 from people that are giving and impact the lives of our students at such a level, we want to say thank you. And this is indeed a special occasion. Thank you on behalf of all of us.
Thank you. Okay, the next school lunchroom visit is being served this Thursday, and we're going to have Thanksgiving dinner. It's okay. Oh, you won't. Oh, I'm sorry. And it'll be at Vanguard High at 11 a.m. The organizational meeting of the school board is scheduled for Tuesday, November 21st, 2017 at 11 a.m. and will be followed by an organizational meeting of the leasing corporation. The next school board meeting is scheduled for the same date as the organizational meeting, November 21st, 2017, and will begin at its regularly scheduled time of 5:30 p.m. The next administrative briefing and work session is scheduled for Thursday, December 7th, 2017 at 9 a.m. The purpose of this work session is to discuss recommended textbook titles for adoption, the Footsteps to Brilliance program, and new diversion program, Clean Slate, as well as to receive the annual Public Education Foundation report. We have a busy next couple weeks. All right, and we're going to move along to our board comments and concerns, and Ms. McCall, we'll begin with you.
Certainly. I would just like to go on record and publicly state that the board members, you had one board member at the event last night, to thank all of our first responders, the linesmen, all of our employees that helped, and I want the public to understand that the board members were not invited to the event until yesterday morning. So now I want to talk just a little bit about Event Planning 101 because I feel that I am an expert in that field, and Mr. Christian sent out an email, but we did not receive it. But it was a 600-person email, but we should have known about the event as soon as the date was set. It should have been on the board members' calendar. In any event, you identify your stakeholders and you look at the people that need to absolutely be there and immediately get the date on the calendar. And so I believe that the event planner was our Director of Community and Family Engagement. And that's just Event Planning 101. That should not have happened. So apologies to our community and to those that we were there to thank for the board not being there. Hopefully, lesson learned, and anything that is that important will be put on our calendars immediately. In actuality, it was the chair's idea, and so the date should have been run by her in the very beginning of that. The second thing I wanted to bring up was in the newspaper, after we had a work session on MTI, the comment by our superintendent was, I have learned that sometimes you have to give the board the information multiple times to make sure they know what is going on with our projects. And Dr. Mayer, that is an insult to my intelligence. Actually, what happened was we knew that it was coming up. It was in the 5-year plan. However, we have never received to date the scope of work for that project. So the scope of work for fencing, for roofing, all of that is, we know what that is. But anytime a new project comes up, even if we approve it in the $550 million maintenance and capital outlay budget, anything that is that new, that we have not had before, a new school, a new wing, this project, it's called the scope of work, and the board deserves to know what that scope is. And so that's what we were talking about. We had no idea what the scope of work was. It was rushed through when the budget was approved, and the scope of work should have come to us prior to the project starting. So I would ask in the future on any new projects that even if the budget amount is approved, we get the scope of work first. Thank you.
Ms. Boynton.
Thank you. Thank you for what you said today. Thank you. And I understand that our school board is really, I'm sure that all of you were feeling like no one called you. And I know that Kevin did call me on yesterday morning too, and I thought, oh, okay, instantly I went in. And then I decided not to come in. Then I said, you know what? I told you I was going to come in, and I came in, and because I was really thinking about all the teachers, about the employees who really had worked so hard for us for a hurricane. It was something that, as I looked around everything that we did for that, I began to say to myself, another thing was, sometimes when we want to let you, thank you, or we love you, sometimes we have to look how much money we really are going to put out for something. And if you don't tell the board to say how much money something's going to put up to the people, the school board needs that. It's so important. What really started was after the hurricane. I remember when Kelly, Beth, Bobby, all of them, every one of them, every one of them came and said instantly, they said, let's have some so we can tell all of our employees that we want to thank them. Do you remember that? Everyone, and we had it on TV, I'm sure. And for them not to get on the last day, because to me it was something was planned. It was a plan that we didn't even know anything about it, you know. So I began to say, okay, if no one told that, what else haven't we been that we don't know? And I began and I said, well, the school board is something that we, as a school board, we have to say to the superintendent that if you say yes, then we have to know. It's like when we went over to the East District. How many of the board members really voted that to be over? Not me. I didn't know that we were going to have that too. How much money did we have to put for the East District's side? And those are the things that I'm thinking about, because it's so important that the superintendent has to say, you can't do everything by yourself. I know you know that. It takes 5 of us to say yes, 3 to say, you know, for to come together and say yes or no. 5 of us, not just the superintendent or any of the other saying anything rude to you, but any of the other employees. It takes us, so that way for the county, for our county, they want to know, are we really knowing what's going on? That is why we go out to be what? Elected. If we can't do it right, like what I'm saying, we have to know everything y'all want to do. You need to send it to us. Please do it. It's so important that we know what's going on, not just across the newspaper. Because when it comes to the newspaper, before I get it, I'm not going to say yes. I'm going to say no. I'm not going to vote for that. Because the newspaper is not, it means that it's saying to everybody else before your board, you know. So I want you to get that together. I want to say again, for all of our employees, we really thank you all to come in. I know it was nice to see so many of you all there. And I wanted to represent for the board, because they really, if they had been there, that same day, they would have been right there. Every last one of them. Because I know them. I know them very, very well. And I know that it was something important for them. Okay? That's one thing. Ready? We're going to something different. The Kingdom of the Sun contract. See, I know I'm upset right now. But, you know, for Christmas, we have for the sun, the sun,
Kingdom of the
say it
Sun.
for me, for loud.
Kingdom of the Sun.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to make sure that know that we're doing it. Okay? Yes, sir?
I'm a member of that.
Are you, really?
Oh, wow.
Good, great. Thank you. And I know that Beth and I were working hard for the last 2 weeks for the Florida legislation, our agenda. We worked really hard for that together, and I want to thank you for coming in and doing all the work. We worked together, and I will send all the information for you so you'll know what we're saying. And thank you so much.
Mr. James.
You know, it's always interesting, guys, when you get me going, you get me going. And when I say that to you, certain things I just need to know. And board, I'm going to talk with us as well. First of all, I want to know some things, and Dr. Ham and whoever can get this information, and the superintendent can get this information. I want to know how much money we spent on remodeling this building right here. You know, when we first got in here, how much did we spend on remodeling this building? I'm talking about the administrative suite up in here. And the next thing I want to know is where are we in terms of our district office east? How much money have we spent already? I have a twofold reason for that, and board, I need some clarification on that. At our last work session, we said that we wanted to look at either a consultant or architect to do that, to look at the new facilities and see if we were getting the best use out of our money. If this is what I'm saying, if we are so far down the road here, do we really need a consultant at this point? Have we spent the $990-some thousand to the point that we don't really need a consultant because all the work is really done, or most of the work is really done? How far along have we got to that? See, these are some of the things that I'm concerned about. I know there's some issues about the fact that we want to get all of our employees together, and I have no problem with that. I do know that we have spent X amount of dollars on Skyward, and Skyward can contact every student, every parent, and I am almost certain that Skyward could contact our employees across the street over there and get them over here and get the information that we need. And the thing I'm going to say more than anything else is that we need to seriously, board, look at how we're planning our money and how we're using it. Okay, now the thing that I've heard and we haven't discussed is the selling of this building down here. But I want to remind the board that we have some surplus property that's been sitting out there for a long time. If you ride through Reddick, you will see a building that's been sitting there since the dawn of time, and there's nothing in it. We just got it sitting there. And if you look at Fiddlers over there, we got all kind of property. Rather than for us to pluck the crown jewel out of our school system and not look at all the other surplus property, I think it is a mistake on behalf of the board. Because as sure as I'm sitting here, when we exhaust our resources, then we're going to look at closing schools. We're going to be letting, and when I say this, as a board, and I've been around a long time, and I know when we start spending money, sooner or later we're going to run out. And this is the things that I am saying more than anything else. And when I do appreciate Joe and his information that he gave. One of the things that stood out is that we spent $5,000 last night on our affair, and I love our employees, but I bet you every one of them would say $5,000 for 2 hours is a lot of money. What I'm saying, board, more than anything else, what did we do? Did we say, hey, let's stop this thing until we find out exactly what we got? Or we continue to work on continually moving forward and then we are hiring a consultant to come and take a look at it. What did we do? Did we say stop? Or did we say we'll get a consultant while we're working? Did we actually stop it?
We did not.
Okay, board, as a board, I'm saying let's stop it and let's take a look at how much we've spent. And if we're gonna use a consultant, let's use him. If we're not gonna use a consultant, then hammer away. And this is what I'm asking now. What did we really do? Did we really make a statement there? Because if we didn't, we really don't need a consultant.
Mr. James, no, we didn't stop anything. First of all, the $5,000 was a sponsorship of the Public Education Foundation for last night's event, which I'm not sure was, I know it was mentioned last night, but I'm not sure how many people actually knew that. My understanding was the discussion that we had at the workshop was Mr. Knight talking about all the things that need to be done over at MTI, including the air conditioning, the roofing, and all of the repairs. And did we want to take a look at doing something different? And that's when you talked about the consultant, but I don't think that we ever said we would stop what's going on there right now. But I don't think the big renovations with the air conditioning, the roofing, and all of that were going to even begin until we began to have those discussions and possibly look at bringing outside people in to take a look to see. But so I don't think the big ticket items were going on, but I agree, I'd like to know what we have spent at MTI.
I understand the big ticket. I understand all of that. What I am saying, it's not a big ticket for us to renovate this building up here. It was not a big ticket to renovate this building. But guys, I don't like to renovate stuff and 6 months later I move out. And that bothered me a little bit. You coming to you.
Issues going on. Brenda, I do want to put on the agenda, I think this board, we need to take a good look at all of our properties and buildings that we own in Marion County. I would like for us to have a work session on that. Was there anything else?
That's it.
Okay. And then we were talking about building 24. So I think we had a couple different items going on, but I agree we need to know exactly. Nancy?
A little bit about what he was saying. I was in the building over there for the Halloween party, and I'm looking around, and as a contractor, I don't know how the fire marshal would feel about all those wires running everywhere to those computers. It's like it was just totally, completely rigged. There was no planning. It's just people kept moving in and moving in, and I'm concerned that I don't even know about the safety of the people that are in there. If there was a fire and their exits and everything that's going on over there, if it's properly marked, and the number of people that's in that space, I just don't really even know if what we're doing is legal. And I think we really need to address that with someone before we keep piling people in there on top of each other and building new cubby holes to put people in. And as far as my comments about the newspaper article, Dr. Mayer, the flaw in your comments was that you have to tell the board things multiple times. You learned that lesson. Well, the lesson that I learned is that you tend to give us pieces, parts multiple times. But if you would give us the complete story once, we'd probably have it. You really don't need to tell me, a 64-year-old woman, things multiple times. But you do if you expect me to use a crystal ball to pull your pieces, parts together. So I have to say, I had a lot of trust in you, and it's been seriously damaged by your comments and some of the things that's happened in the last few weeks. Honeymoon's over. Next year might be a longer year because you will be held more accountable. I've passed a lot of things. I've let a lot of things go by because I trusted you. you have officially lost my trust. Now, I have had, I'm going to talk about two things that need to, this is completely off that topic. I did meet with some teachers and had a nice meeting with some elementary teachers, and I wanted to know kind of what's happening and what's their feel of things, because I'm not like you, Miss Kelly, Miss King. I don't have a pulse for what's happening. I have to have the teachers tell me. And they gave me 4 issues that's in order. I'll give them to you. In our meeting, teachers from all across the district, the first thing they talked about is, this is a summation of what they said. The kids who are the worst in our classrooms have the most PBS dollars to spend, which teachers tell me is a dead wrong message. A message that we're subliminally sending to the good kids, which is that it costs you money to be good. And there's a payoff for being bad. And the teachers have talked to me about the PBS behavior program and stuff that's been in place, and it has behaviors worse than ever since the day we put that in place. And I'm very concerned about the teachers' sanity and how they're working under that situation. The second thing they tell me is that they need help with some of the behavior strategies that work, because PBS isn't getting it by just giving these kids fake dollars all day, because they're correcting students that are extra bad, children that maybe used to not even be mainstreamed in the classroom, and the children that are there behaving and doing what they're supposed to do, they're losing minutes in their day because the teachers say, we're just giving out dollar bills to kids all day, and they really need some help with that. Another thing they asked me about was the team teaching. I don't know what's going on with team teaching. I don't know, or co-teaching, or whatever it's called. They called it different things. There was even another name some of them called it. I don't know if it's their principal's decision at their school to stop team teaching, or is it a district ban on team teaching? I don't know. I would like the answer to that at some point in time. The teachers tell me they've heard Mrs. Gerlach up here talking about a phonics program being added to our reading curriculum. And yet, they tell me they haven't been given that curriculum. And they're already into a fourth of the school year is over, and they're wanting some help, because if the reading scores aren't up, they feel they're going to be blamed. And with a fourth of the year gone, they don't have that phonics reading program that everybody's been talking about since summer that they were going to get. Maybe they have it, I don't know. The teachers told me they don't have it, the ones I talked to. So that's the subject on that. My other subject tonight is that I have talked to this board for 3 years about opening up the N.H. Jones Playground so that children don't have to cross 2 4-lane highways to get to a swing set. The bureaucrats have all agreed that it was a good idea someday, and apparently in 2012, 5 years ago, other school board members before me actually came into this discussion, and they developed an actual agreement, apparently, an official agreement that the board supported opening this playground and bringing in and allowing the city to do some fencing. But apparently, the stormwater issue and the fire and everything caused the city council or someone, anyway, it kind of blew up. I guess the adults were spitting in the children's soup is what I'd call it. So 5 years now have been wasted as bureaucrats have put the poor kids between the dog and the tree. So bureaucrats agreed to someday do this. Someday we'll open that park up. 5 years is a long someday. But it seems like someday has translated into the word never happening, is the way I look at it. It's gone on for so long. But someday in my world might just mean today. And that today is now that someday. The time is now to end the parents and grandparents watching children around N.H. Jones hanging on the fence, looking at a locked playground, with their only option to find a swing set, meaning they must cross 2 4-lane highways to find one. I just need some help. I need some help to end this 25-year-long wrong mindset where we took those children's school and we locked them out, locked in every single way. We've bused some of those kids past 2 elementary schools for some fool in Washington. and it's time for us to give something back, because we have the power to do that, school board members. So I've taken it a little farther. I've gone to the director of the city parks and the associate director of the city park department, the administrators there. I spoke with Kathy and Julie. They said that they would be thrilled because there's short park space over on the west side, seriously, for children, and they've been very concerned about children running across those highways to get to Hampton. They will, at their cost, get with our people, and they will help with us to establish playground boundaries. They will provide the fencing to fence off the playground area. They will provide after-hours insurance to cover the liability, and their park rangers will lock the NH Jones playground gates at sundown, just as they do their other parks. I've tried to work out everything I can think of to work out on this. They will make necessary playground repairs if the issues are from excess usage, and they will have the area patrolled by law enforcement just as they do their other parks. And Madam Chairman, I will ask you to prioritize this. Previous boards have tried to make it happen. Even if it requires we schedule an extra workshop meeting to get this done immediately, I'm tired of someday. I am ready for today. After all, we aren't that overworked, meeting 4 hours a week. We could afford another workshop being scheduled if it's only to discuss this, because this might not matter to some people, but to the children over there who are dashing across 2 4-lane highways to get to a park, it could mean the entire world to their parents, because something could happen to them. It is time we move, and I would like Madam Chairman King to be the person that starts this ball rolling for the children on the west side of Ocala. Thank you.
Thank you. I will get on that. Thank you. Thank you. Brenda, I also would like to have some work sessions. First of all, on the code in District East, I want the board to be updated on that with the wires and things. I want to make sure we're in compliance. Also, I think it's probably time for another work session to update us on PBS. I know it was brought to our attention and there was concern then. We're hearing that now, so if we can have an update on that and how it's working. We're hearing teachers need help. Again, I think with their behaviors and stuff. I know there's been many changes, so maybe the board can be updated on what our county is doing to help support our teachers that, maybe having more responsibilities or changes. I'm kind of curious as that's going. This could probably be answered. Team teaching, I don't know if our county has it anymore. We don't.
We don't have a policy. You can't sit either way. It's a principal decision.
So it's a principal decision. Okay. And then the phonics reading, I'm thinking, just from what I'm hearing, it may be the foundation. Mm-hmm. The foundation. I've also have heard a few different things going on about this foundation program. Like I have heard that some teachers have been provided the kits, but maybe not all the materials. I think there needs to be some confusion. So maybe if the board could be updated on that to make sure that we agreed to spend this money, but I want to make sure that, our teachers and the rollout and the implementation of this program is working. Because if we're purchasing this and then we have teachers saying they're not getting it or they don't have the supplies needed, then that's not helping them. And that is not the purpose, I'm sure, of anyone sitting on this board. Okay. And those are what we have. And then the NH Jones Playground, I'm going to look at some dates and get with Brenda probably tomorrow. We'll look at that and see what we can come up with that. Okay. Mr. Gibbs. Ms. Blockheader, you have anything?
I'm good.
Dr. Mayer.
Yes. First, we want to thank Officer Arnold. Thank you for being with us tonight. It's good to see you again, and I hope your evening was good. So thank you again for taking care of us. We appreciate that. On November 8th, last week, we had the community night for the textbook adoption process, and we had mentioned that in work session because we had work session right after it. But we did get numbers. There were 172 people that attended that. And of course, we were prepared for a lot more, but we were pleased that the opportunity was provided, as that is not a statutory requirement, but we thought that that was very important that the community be given opportunity for input. So the community comment cards were aggregated and sent to the voting committee. So that was put on their portal. Then last Friday, on November 10th, we had our district-wide Veterans Day program, and in partnership with our veterans groups who have asked us for years, it's my understanding they've asked us to stay in school on this day so that we can publicly recognize their contributions. And so on that day, we had 39 buses who brought over 2,500 students to Veterans Park. And again, Kevin was there and he did the emceeing. We had vets we had World War II vets there, and there was even one female Marine vet who was 97 years old, and she sat right behind us. But we had veterans from World War II through Desert Storm, with a particular emphasis on our Vietnam vets, as we are preparing to partner with our veterans this May when the Traveling Vietnam War Memorial comes. The wall is going to come and visit. So we are looking at partnering again with our veterans organizations and how we can put a focus on that this May. So we are excited about that. Last night was our opportunity to recognize our employees who during Hurricane Irma, again, as you know, left their families and their homes and took care of our community. And thank you, Ms. McCall, for clarifying that we were honored to have our Public Education Foundation step up and say that they would sponsor this event, and so they did. And we recognized them last night, but we'd like to recognize them again for their contribution to that. And it was exciting. We had people who stayed all evening. Fall is such a busy time, so we had a lot of people who were able to stop in and then they had to go, and people who came late. So just a nice night to say thank you to them. I want to first address, Ms. McCall, what you said about the statement in the paper. And as I will everything tonight, let me take ownership for not coming forward and clarifying that statement prior to now. The way it was phrased was not within the context it was said. What I had said was modalities. That, and I have said this in cabinet, I may have said it to all of you, that each of you have a different modality. And to me, when we make presentations, I say to our folks, present in every modality possible. That's why that one day we used Scott, his presentation when he was talking about the records, when he brought out records and he had things for you to touch and he had pictures and he had, and he spoke, because each of you learn in a different modality. And so to hit your learning style, yes, I need to present things multiple times in multiple ways. And that's the way it was phrased. And also that we had a great suggestion at a cabinet meeting, and it has been implemented you'll notice the best practice form, that it has been updated, and so we will be keeping records when we present things for your consideration when it has come to the board before, so that you have that as easy record. And that is what that statement meant. So for being insulted, I apologize, but I do want to clarify that that is not how it was said. And I will stand behind still presenting things in multiple modalities, because I understand about your learning styles. And once again, I will say for the error in the emails, I'm going to say I'm sorry. It's a simple statement, but that's all I can say, and I take ownership for that. In the end, it's nobody else's responsibility but mine to make sure that things are done efficiently and done correctly. And I can't even explain how it happened, but you were left off the email list. We had noticed it on the website, so I know there was discussion. But again, I apologize, and that is all that I can say. But I accept total responsibility. And please don't think that anybody had any other ideas. It's just my fault for not making sure it was done.
But Dr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
When that date was set, we should have had a calendar. That should have been sent out as a calendar invitation.
Yes, ma'am.
And the fact that we did not get the email should not have mattered.
Exactly.
Because it should have already been on our calendars. So that's my point. That just, I mean, we are, we're an important part, and so that the email blast, it should not have mattered that we didn't get it because it should have already been on our calendars.
Our PR employees should not be our first notifier of anything. That is your responsibility, and you can't delegate responsibility. This has nothing to do with that email. And I can't believe you're still talking about that email, because this has nothing to do with the email.
And I own the fact that I made an error. And I apologize, and I can't.
Well, let's don't talk about the email anymore. It's not the email's fault.
I didn't say it was. I said it was mine, and I own it. I would like to share this book. It's a sequel to Humpty Dumpty, and there's a very significant part in the book that I would like to share with you. And I would encourage you, because this is an awesome book. It's called After the Fall, and it's called How Humpty Dumpty Got Up Again. And as we are teaching the concept of foreshadowing, this is a great one too, because through the book you see birds, and birds play a significant part in this book. But as you see, again, there's a bird. So, and this is one I said to myself, am I going to read it? But I said, no, I just want to point out a couple things, because this is one that really is a great one to share, and I don't want to give away the ending. But when we're talking about the foreshadowing, again, the birds keep popping up. But Humpty was on top of the wall. There were some birds on top of the wall, and that's what caused him to fall, and he couldn't be bandaged together. And so he's having a really hard time with climbing that wall. He's got lots of fears, and he says he will never climb that ladder again because accidents are going to happen. But again, he keeps seeing the birds, and he had an idea. And it took him a lot of tries until he could make his paper airplane that looked like a bird. So I'm going to stop there. But I think that this is just a fabulous book for everybody to read. And then at the end, something magical, truly magical happens. And that is like an infomercial. I will leave you there.
They're going to tell us at the next meeting the rest of the story?
Now you have to buy it and read it to your grands.
Okay.
And I need to ask you to join me at the podium. As Mrs. King will explain in just a few minutes, again, that our next board meeting on the 21st, we will actually have our organizational meeting for the new year. So tonight is officially your last meeting as chair. And so on behalf of everyone on my staff and the board, I would like to present you with this very lovely, Brenda, of this gift for your year and your hard work as chair of the Marion County School Board. So for you, Mrs. King, and we thank you for all of your work.
I just want to say thank you. I have been very humbled and honored to act as the chair for the past year. It has been very enlightening, and I've enjoyed every moment of it, and I look forward to passing this gavel. So, well, not this one, but the next one. Okay, I'm going to begin with, I did have the opportunity last week, I know I get to say my comments, I'll be short. I did attend the Veterans Park ceremony last Friday, and it was fabulous. It really was just very inspirational. The students worked very hard, and you could tell that their teachers did an excellent job with putting on their program. Kevin, you did a wonderful job commentating it. You always just do a top-notch job, and that was just another example of all your wonderful work that you do. And I've also had the opportunity to go to a couple of unveilings of the Purple Heart signs, and one of them was at North Marion High School. And it was extra special that day because Specialist Marky Sims, he was one of our fallen soldier, so his family was there. So it was just, a little extra special, which is wonderful that they could honor him that way. Not that was wonderful. Also, I want to remind everybody that Thanksgiving is next week, and we have many things to be thankful for. And I am thankful and I am grateful and blessed to work here on this board with everybody and everyone here, and I hope everybody has a safe week and get lots of rest and enjoy your family and your time that you so well deserve. And I will end on that note today. Okay. Before addressing expulsion matters, I wish to acknowledge that board members have received the alternative placement list for students through October 27th, 2017. Ms. Flockheader, are there any parents who have submitted a timely request to speak on their child's disciplinary matter? Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of student JD 17-100 and JD 17-101 with educational services through the remainder of the 2016-2017 school year and the entire 2017-2018 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Mr. James. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of student JD 18-07, JD 18-08, JD 18-09, JD 18-10, JD 18-11, JD 18-12, and JD 18-13 with educational services through the entire 2017-2018 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. McCall, seconded by Mr. James. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 And the motion passed 5-0. Okay, there being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. James, second by Ms. McCall. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, like sign. And the motion passed 5-0, and the meeting is adjourned at 7:19 p.m.
Say how many points did y'all get?